welcome to another story from the annals of Restoration Biker. Yeah, it's all bullshit, isn't it? I thought what I'd do is, this second story, I'll tell you about my motorcycle test. Now, if you remember from the first story, I had a 1961 250cc aerial Arrow, and I've been riding it. By the time I did my test, I had been riding it for about 8 or 9 months. So I had a little tiny bit of experience. And when I say little tiny bit, I mean a little tiny bit. You know, but, no. Oh, I thought I was fully experienced. Oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I think I'll go for my test. So confident was I, what a complete knob. So confident that one of my mates had a 350 Norton Navigator. 350cc. Wow, that's big, isn't it? Norton Navigator. He wanted 60 sovs for it. That's big money, but it was a good riding bike. Well, the thing is, I hadn't taken my test yet. Well, I'll buy it because I'm going to do my test, and I ain't going to be hard, is it? So I bought this 350 Norton. It was round my house in the back garden waiting for me to pass my test. I still had the aerial Arrow, and I was still using the aerial Arrow, but I knew that it was obvious I was going to pass the test. Anyway, the day of the test came. I rode over to the test centre, met the examiner. Now, in those days, what you have to remember is, nowadays, an examiner pursues you on another machine, so therefore he can watch exactly what you do. In those days, for people that aren't old enough and perhaps don't remember, in those days the examiner used to stand in the street, tell you where he wanted you to go, and once you'd gone round that corner at the end of the road, mate, you was out of view. Out of view. And then he would move around a bit. He would ask you to keep going around a particular circuit. He would move around and watch you hidden behind cars and whatever, and then eventually he would stop you and give you the next thing to do. The plan was normally you went round a circuit, and then after you've done that, you then do the slow riding where you have to ride next to him as he walks. Then you have to do a U-turn. Then you had to do a figure of 8, and you had to do an emergency stop. You was also asked questions on the highway code at the end of the test, and then they made a decision as to whether you was up to the required standard or not. That was what a test was. Well, I arrived, it was red hot on the day that I did my test, so I did my test in the middle of the summer, and it was red hot. My aerial Arrow was a 2-stroke twin, where you mix the oil with the petrol, and that's how the machine was lubricated. That will be coming up in a short moment. So I met the examiner. The examiner told me, up the road, go round the corner, blah, 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 gave me a little route. So I set off, turned the corner. As soon as I've gone round the corner, I'm no longer visible to him. And then I come to this crossroads. Well, there was no lines on the road, no traffic lights or anything, so it's obviously my right way, isn't it? Well, I went across this crossroads, and it was an unmarked crossing. There was a car coming the other way who thought exactly the same as me. He didn't have to stop. I didn't have to stop. So we both went onto the crossing at the same time. The car braked like Billy-O, missed me by an inch, and I carried on. I'm on my test. Going down this road, long straight road, in the town obviously. This is what appeared to me, my gormless mind. Halfway down this street, there was 2 no entry signs. Hey? I'm going down this road, it's a 2-way street, but it becomes a 1-way street halfway down, and it's no entry. But he wants me to go all the way round. So like a complete dick, I rode up the 1-way street. Yeah, the road I was on, the 2-way street, went round the corner. She should have come up the road, gone round the corner, and that bit coming towards you was 1 way. I didn't see that. I just went straight up the 1-way street the wrong way. How, mate, how did I not get knocked off? Bloody hell. Halfway up this 1-way street, I suddenly realised, oh shit, I should have gone round there. So I turned the bike round. Couldn't do a U-turn, so I just paddled it round. Went back round. He didn't see any of this because I'm out of sight now. I've completed the circuit, gone past him, and I've did it 2 or 3 times, blah, 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 and he stopped me. I'll just pull over here, please. Right, I'm going to walk along here, and I want you to keep the machine next to me. Don't put your feet on the ground. Okay. So anyway, started the bike up. He starts walking. Bike goes about 3 inches. Cuts out. Started the bike up. Go about another 6 inches. Started the bike up. Go another few inches. He went, what's wrong with the bike? I said, well, it's a hot day, see, and the petrol's evaporating from the petrol and oil mix, and as a result, it doesn't like running slow. He went, oh dear. Okay then, push the bike back to the car park and we'll have a little chat. Oh, for fuck's sake. I've just failed my test, haven't I? This is what went through my mind. I've just failed my test. I spent money on this test. This really pissed me off. I've got a 350 Norton at home. I need to ride it. Anyway, so I pushed my bike back to the car park, which is only up the road from where we were. He asked me a couple of questions. He said, when you approach an unmarked junction, what speed should you go over it? I went 30 mile an hour. What's the stopping distance for 30 mile an hour? Well, about 60 feet. What's the width of a normal B-class road? About 30 feet. So if you're going over a junction at 30 mile an hour and you have to do a stop, you have to stop because there's a vehicle coming, where would you be by the time you stopped? On the other side. What speed should you go over an unmarked junction? Should stop. Who should stop? Everybody. He went, oh, okay. Now that is what I'd just done earlier. He'd obviously seen that, hadn't he? And he's asked me the question. He'd seen it. So, then he showed me another couple of pictures, you know, highway code, all that. Oh, what a waste. So this is pissing me off. Going through this is pissing me off because it's obviously a foul. And then he said those magic words. I'm pleased to tell you you've passed. Hey? I didn't even do the test. I didn't turn round. I didn't do the emergency stop. I didn't do anything. How can I have passed the test? I haven't even done it. But who am I to argue? I mean, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's an official, you know. He knows what he's doing. So I have to abide by his decision. I fucking passed. Jesus Christ. So with massive inexperience, huge ignorance of road rules, which I was, a complete dick, I rode home with my pass certificate in my pocket. And we used to have a little tiny red book. That was a licence. The licence was a little tiny red book. And when you passed, you got a sticker to put in the book that said you had passed. So yeah, so I rode home, which then was enabled me to insure the 350 Norton. And the next story I'm going to tell you is what happened when I started riding the 350 Norton. Yeah. Anyway, that'll be the next story. I hope you've enjoyed the stories. Let me know if there's anything that you would like me to tell you a story about, or if you'd like me to shut up or whatever. And give me some stories of your own. You know, because we've all had ridiculous stories when we were young riders, and it'll be interesting to sort of see a few in the comments. So, see you soon. Take care, and bye.